We will begin this meeting by reading the adoption of the agenda. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular council meeting of June the 9th be adopted. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Thank you, Henry. Do I have a seconder?
Marvin,
Thank you very much. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of May the 26th, 2020 be adopted. Mover? Karina and Don, seconder, and any comments or questions regarding the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, and that is carried. Correspondence, we have a letter here from MCC in regards to their emergency services worldwide. Council's information there. And again, as we look at different events and different requests, obviously the letter that Jody is preparing to send out to all our organizations that we normally support will fall under this category as well. Okay, thank you. Any questions regarding this letter?
Did on our list last year?
Not as an outreach, but just as a local store.
This is a separate
Yeah.
correspondence.
Next one, we have a letter from Honorable Rochelle Squires in regards to our letter on Bill 48, which is still an ongoing battle, and including most recently discussions at AMM again in regards to Bill 48 and 49. And as AMM has asked that municipalities participate by writing in their concerns. But the other thing after the last meeting specifically asked that we also come up with some alternatives. Because the government is determined to come forward with something, but I think are open to making some adjustments if there is some coordination of potential alternative message that needs to come together.
have they stated what the reasoning is for
Yes.
this clearly? So then,
Fairly clearly, the problem lies within the city of Winnipeg and the surrounding municipalities around Winnipeg, where there's a lack of coordination and planning. It's a little bit different than what we have here, where we have the MSDW group together that does the planning under one umbrella. And the delays that currently have, and I had a developer from Winnipeg kind of go through what we were doing and just absolutely totally impressed with how our development applications are handled in the process and the quickness that this process is being handled. And he stated, for example, in regards to the development that James Elias is doing in the northwest corner, would likely take between 3 and 5 years in the city of Winnipeg. So that's part of the reason why they want to actually speed it up. And so they thought, well, that might be when we're doing it. Obviously, the legislation that is being brought forward is, and I may mention it as well, it almost reminds me of the police boards. It was one particular incident, one particular municipality. All of a sudden, the legislation had to be written for the entire province of Manitoba. So they recognize that there are different areas which are unique and some that obviously don't have the same situation. And they, I believe, are getting the message that the appeal process is an area that needs fixing. So we as a community need to then also be prepared to send them suggestions.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, like, if it's mostly the metro area capital region that is reasoning, have they, as AMM, encouraged them to come up with that would be very helpful if they would say, you know, we don't want this. Can we do this to alleviate the?
Yeah, that's why they want input from the municipalities.
Mhm.
Like,
But it's easy for
regardless-
us to give them
Yeah.
ideas when we're not in the situation. That's why I'm saying it's especially, like, I would like it if there looked like legislation was happening because of something that Winkler was involved in that wasn't looked at as being good, that they would say, Winkler, can you come up with different ideas if you don't want this, right?
Yeah.
So
It's not a bad point, get the
Yeah.
capital cities region to come up with an
Yeah.
alternative.
And they are, was his name from Selkirk? Dwayne, yeah.
Okay,
He has been working extensively on this, and so he's coordinating, and he's actually, I'm expecting we're gonna get a recap from him relatively shortly as to what some of the suggestions might be, and how do you, I think it's primarily, how do you handle the appeals system? First of all, you said there's a system up in place, but then the biggest issue is the appeal system, where the developer can go to the municipal board and appeal something without the involvement of the municipality affected. That's one of the biggest.
so I guess one of the things that we know that has experience, like, is get the people involved before you set something up.
Yep.
And then you don't have to worry about appeals so much because it's set, so that would be,
Okay, go talk to your neighbor.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That always should be number one.
yeah.
No, it's, again, it's always the exception that drives it to the end.
Yeah.
But yet at the same time, if the system was set up in a way that would be inclusive in the process.
Mhm.
But the only thing is if you have, as in some cases, and they gave an example, West Kildonan, I think, right? Where there's something like 500 lots are developed in West Kildonan because, and there's land in the city of Winnipeg, but the developers have said, forget about it. We're not going to be developing this in the city of Winnipeg because we can go to West Kildonan and we can get this done. So. Lots of challenges.
Yeah, well, I would certainly support if we can figure out some way to give them suggestions that we do that, because it's good to be part of
And I
the
think
solution.
especially after a meeting, and we're hearing it time and time again, while you guys are just doing things right and encouragement how we need to continue to do that, I think we have a platform there where we can weigh in, because I believe that our system of development and our relationship with our member municipalities around us are such that, that we do a pretty good job. So if there's any suggestions, Scott, that you have from your experience as well, maybe just jot them down and let's coordinate recommendations that we can forward on to EMM and to the minister.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Well, I even think an example of how much we have had or developers involved in doing the secondary plan. That'll speed things up once they want to break, because it's not somebody having, like, the developers coming out with an idea in isolation and not looking at what the city's plan is, and then when all of a sudden they want to come up and the city says, no, that's not what we're going to do here. And then it stalls everybody. So I think that's a very important step.
Which Scott and your department, I believe, did sent that in, and this letter acknowledging from Honorable Rochelle Squire is just acknowledging having received it and happy with our plan that we sent in, Sustainable Communities. Oh, sorry, no, this is this isn't the one. This is the one regards to the funding. Sorry,
Yeah.
for $75,000, even better.
Yeah.
But the other one is real as well, but this is $1,000 grant, so great news.
So there's three of them there that are all building sustainable communities.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, the other one is addressed to Stephanie, also Sustainable Community Grant for $20,000, which we had applied for earlier in regards to the zoning and development plan. So those have both come through, so it's great to have that. And then the other one that has come through is in regards to the accessibility trail for the grant for DNS. Any questions regarding any of those? It's been a good week. Going on to finance, be it resolved that the accounts payable in the amount of $600,536.44 as approved by the finance committee be approved for payment. Mover,
Henry Siemens?
seconder,
Karina Bickert.
and you have your 3 check registers that are there for recap. Any questions regarding any of those?
I had one question, but Danica answered it. Thank you, dear.
Okay. There's no more questions. Do we have all in favor, sorry? And that's carried. Be it resolved that general operating and balance sheets for April 2020 be received for information. Mover?
Yep.
Yeah, the recap, much appreciated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I know it's not on, it's on the agenda, police and fire, but I know we get our regular fire reports, but we don't really get kind of a detailed or a regular police, either police committee or a police report or something like that.
This goes online though,
Quarterly
too.
online.
We get
We
reports
do
from
get
Tracy all the
them.
time though.
And we do get them. We had our March meeting, obviously, canceled at the very
Oh, okay.
beginning of the pandemic.
Okay.
Our next meeting in July will continue as
Okay.
planned.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So it has
Next.
been 6 months
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
since we've
right,
had
it's,
one report.
yeah. Okay, be it resolved that the swamp committee meeting minutes for June the 3rd be adopted. Mover,
Andrew?
seconder?
Michael.
Any questions regarding the swamp minutes or comments from the committee people?
They've been busier than ever. That's all I need to say. Like their tickets are way up.
Was that right?
People are cleaning house.
Yep, that and True North Foods, north of Carmen, their delivery trucks have been increasing because of Cargill shutting down their slaughter plant. So True North has jumped up.
Mm.
We've already exceeded our awful budget revenue.
Well, thank you for serving in that committee as well. And all in favor? That's carried. Resolved that the in-camera planning committee meeting minutes of May the 14th be adopted. Mover,
Henry